that's naught. James, you were mucus, scabs and saliva, so you're minus 30. Hammond, you now, let's get this straight, you were saliva, blood.
Yeah, but there was no mucus in
No
mine.
mucus, but there was pubic hair, so that's minus 30. And then poo, and that's 1,000, so that's minus...
Why do I get it minus 1,000 for poo?
Because poo's really disgusting.
Oh.
You're obviously going to get minus 1,000 for that.
Yeah, we don't make the rules, Hammond. Now, look, the thief test. Jeremy, your car wasn't stolen, so you get naught.
Yeah.
And my car wasn't stolen, so I get naught. Hammond, your car was stolen.
Yes.
And you get minus 1,000.
Do it. How'd you get to that?
Because it just is. It's scientific, this. Lap times, you didn't get minus 1,000 for that. They're there. Now, the gas test. Let's just get this straight. No gas escape from my car, so I get naught. No gas escape from your car, James, so that's naught. All of the gas escape from yours, so that's minus...
Let me guess.
Yes, you're right. It's minus 1,000.
Is it? Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Now, the restoration test here, you lose a point for every pound it would take to get your car back to showroom condition. Now, I, as you would expect, did best at this, so I am minus 5,500 points.
It's like being on QI, this. Yeah, go on.
Hammond, you are minus 7,500 points.
Yeah, it would be.
Jeremy Clarkson, you are minus 11,000.
Ah! I might be, well, not him, but you, anyway.
Right, so what have you got, James?
Well, I've won, obviously.
Yeah, that's a given.
You are
Minus
11,293.1.
Minus 11,293.1. So Hammond, this is tense.
Minus 11,000.
Well, there's still hope, though. You see, I could still do it.
540.
Yes! So really... I mean, well done, James, but really, two conclusions we can draw from this. One, all identical cars aren't necessarily identical. Some of them do have pubic hairs in them and poo. And two, Richard Hammond, who buys more used cars than any man alive, is useless at buying used cars. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. See you next week. Take care. Good night. Tonight, Richard wears a blue hat. James wears a different hat. And I wear a hat with things on it.
Hello!
Hello, thank you. Now, as you may remember, before Christmas, there was a bit of snow. Everything stopped. We all ran about, waving our arms in the air, saying, why in this country do we not have more snowplows and more gritting machines?
Yeah, well, the main problem, of course, is cost, especially at the moment, because councils everywhere are laying people off, and they can't very well make a whole department redundant and then spend the £90,000 they've saved on a snowplow.
No, especially if the snowplow is just going to be sitting around. I mean, it might not be needed for, what, 5 years?
Exactly.
So, what is to be done?
Well, this is a combine harvester, and it works 24 hours a day through August, but then sits idle in a shed for the rest of the year. So how hard would it be to turn this, in winter, into a snowplow?
To find out, we bought an old model of this very combine, in fact, and set about making the necessary modifications at Top Gear's top-secret winter testing facility in Nottinghamshire, on the B6011, just north of Bestwood St Albans.
This is the result of our endeavours. And straight away you can see we've removed the rotating, cutty, harvesty blade thing off the front and replaced it with this snow blade. It's V-shaped because that makes it more easy to cut through the snow. and this should be able to move through snow up to 3 feet deep. No problem.
Power comes from a V8 diesel engine which drives these chunky front wheels. And in the snow, as any BMW driver will tell you, front-wheel drive is a lot better than rear-wheel drive. And the Combine, when you think about it, it's almost as though it was designed with snow clearance in mind.
I know. It's uncanny, everything about it. You've got the ground clearance, knobbly tyres, front-wheel drive, the weight of it, it's all there.
It's one of those times on Top Gear where you look and think, actually,
You've accidentally been a bit clever.
this might work.
Since the Dominator has a top speed of just 12 miles an hour, it was easy to decide which one of us would be the driver.
What happens if I put it on full? Don't like that.
Give me the beans.
Faster!
It's not got very. It's not like a rally car.
See rear-wheel steering, look.
It's not very sensitive stick. Oh.
There is, of course, one tiny drawback to the Combine as a snowplow. Because it was designed to work in August, it has no heater.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a drum in there you can probably see through the window. And that's, well, it's an urn. We've put that in there full of, well, we wanted tea. But James said, I want Bovril.
Because it's in 1950. We all know that when it's snowing and it's cold, you have Bovril. That's a rule of life.
He likes to paint himself all over in it. It's like baby oil to him. That's what he does.
Bovril.
Him and his lorry driver friends all Bovriled up. And then they slip about, that's what they do.
Besides attaching a plough on the front, we'd also converted the tube that normally shoots out the harvested wheat into a makeshift gritter.
I should be responsible for shoveling the grit from here into this hopper there. Should be good at this because my first job was in fact shoveling grit into a water filtration plant.
Well then, shovel. Make shoveling. And while he's doing that, I shall explain my role. I can use this lever here to swing the arm to direct the flow of grit either onto the pavement or onto the road behind. Yes, look at this.
Okay, James. Initiating gritting. Revs.
Yes! And there was grit! We made a gritting machine!
But there was one more check we wanted to do.
You know what it's like when you're following a gritting lorry on the motorway and there's that you think, oh no, it's turning my car into a DeLorean.
Yeah, exactly. So to make sure this isn't too powerful, we've got Hammond in the car, who's just going to come in here. We're going to do a little experiment, fire the gritter at it, make sure it doesn't actually take the paint off.
Go right sideways, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, James.
Engage. Initiating gritting.
Oh God, stop it, James! There's been a problem! Make it stop!
Gritting ceased.
Apart from the fact the grit would kill the occupants of any car it hit, we felt the Dominator was ready to start work. But there was a problem.
It's not going to snow.
With crossed fingers, we tuned into the weather forecast.
Good afternoon. We're going to see a change in our weather later on this week. Temperatures really starting to climb, things heading much milder. We've had a fair bit of cloud around already.
Good evening. Well, the good news is there's absolutely no sign of the cold air returning in the near future. It's a very mild outlook. The reason we've got all this warm air is pumping up from the tropics.
What is he?
Oh, all right.
He doesn't rub it in, does he? He sounds all gleeful about it.
So if the snow wouldn't come to the Dominator, we would take the Dominator to the snow. Here in Norway, we decided to clear the snow from a frozen lake to make a runway, and then a Nor would land his plane on it.
This is quite snowy.
It must have snowed.
We knew the ice would be thick enough for a light aircraft, but what about our heavy snowbine?
drilling for hours. That was 10 seconds and you... Don't move, just no...
Seriously, has that gone through?
Don't...
Yes. Norwegians actually have a chart to say how much weight you can put on various thicknesses of ice. So how thick is it?
45 centimetres.
So it's, well, say 50.
Let's say 40.
Well, it's 45.
So 50 centimetres of ice, 12 tons. Combine's more than
13 tons.
It's 13 tons.
So we can't do it.
Well, it's only a ton over.
Bravely, Hammond and the optimistic Jeremy decided not to be on board as I gingerly drove the snowbine out of the woods. Bloody big, this thing. Towards the ice.
3 yards to the lake.
This is it.
I don't like that noise.
Eventually, though, I made it.
Did I or did I not say we'd be all right?
Yeah, was
Jeremy.
that not based entirely on guesswork anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
But as my guesswork was correct, we set to work.
We're ploughing. We're ploughing, chaps. Look at this. Yeah! Here we go! The snow binister. It works! Yeah! Come on! Come on! Yeah, yeah! I think we've just gone through it. Yeah, we have.
That's not an emergency. It's just time to empty your bowels.
Sinking. Sinking.
Bravely, Jeremy dismounted.
Hi, James, back it up.
Started issuing orders.
That is sinking badly. Put your blade down, James, because that's just gone through again.
When the combine finally moved, we could see the scale of the peril.
It's 300 metres deep.
Oh, it's just water.
However, unlike the snowplow people at Heathrow Airport, we decided not to just give up.
Do you know how many flights were cancelled in Heathrow last year because of the weather? 3,700. Do you know how many flights were cancelled at Oslo because of the weather?
2,000.
2. Heathrow, 3,700.
Because we had one bit of snow.
And as we were proving, all that misery was completely unnecessary.
There really is no excuse. Heathrow, BAA, if you're watching this, you're pathetic. And if anybody in a meeting says, oh, well, the reason why it was shut is sack him. There is no reason why it was shut, because it isn't difficult to clear a runway. It just isn't.
My rant was interrupted at this point by news from below decks.
Bovrel's boiling. The Bovrel's boiling over.
And up top, Hammond was still fretting about the ice.
Oh my God. That's another crack there, look.
Yeah, big one. When we go through, it's going to be worse for him.
Oh God, yes. Because he will be pulling at the glass, desperate.
Right now, though, he was pawing at the steering wheel.
James! James, stay right, you idiot! Stay right! It's a straight line we're looking for.
Yeah, I think this will be a tricky landing, actually, James. We got into a tank slapper.
Look where we're pointing.
James, the trees indicate land.
Eventually, though, James mastered the rear wheel steering.
I'm waiting to look behind us and see a runway complete with lights and everything.
That isn't happening, but it's not bad, look.
And pretty soon, the runway was finished. So we pulled over and radioed the pilot, giving him permission to land.
It's not the smoothest runway.
No, but there's less snow on it than there was.
It is smooth enough, isn't it? Well, we're about to find out. Here he comes. Look at that.
Job done.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We did that.
We did that.
How about that?
Sadly, though, our celebrations were premature.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that is quite bumpy.
He's crashed.
He has pretty much crashed there.
At a time like this, there's only one thing a man can do.
Right, quick, go. Just get in, go. Right, James, run.
Trust me, you can't actually fake a plane crash.
No, I think it's probably safe to say that we won't be getting a Christmas tree for Trafalgar Square this year.
Anyway, we'll be picking that film up later on, and we want to explain it isn't just a massive cocking around. I mean, there's a bit, because we really do believe that we were onto something with that snowblind, because if you think about it, if it works, farmers can rent out equipment that would normally be sitting idle, councils don't have to maintain a fleet, which saves them a fortune, and we get our roads open. So we really do think it's worth persevering with. Anyway, now we are going to do the news, and I want to begin by talking about Nissan, okay? They've announced they're going to make a new electric sports car, which they're going to exhibit the Geneva Motor Show, which is soon. That's a picture of it there. And they've sent us lots of details about this car. Interestingly and unusually, they've also sent us a description of the sort of person who'll buy it, an actual biography, and I'm quoting now from Nissan themselves. They say the driver, okay? Daniel.
So this guy doesn't exist, they've made him up.
Yeah, well, they say Daniel, an S-Flow owner, works in tech, but lives for the weekend. On Friday night after work, he gets behind the wheels of his S-Flow, which instantly links with his pocket PDA. He sounds like a bit of a prat.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I like
Anyway, okay, and it determines the fastest route to his girlfriend's home. On Sunday, he drives through the mountains for leisure. His milk float. Anyway, and then he gets home eventually, and it's all charged up, and he lives in Barcelona.
Hang on a minute, he's called Daniel. Could he be the Daniel from the Elton John song?
Yes, that's who he was writing about.
Hang on. Daniel is travelling tonight in his stupid electric sports car. I can see the red tail lights. No, he wouldn't be able to. It's battery powered, isn't it? They'll have got flat.
Daniel's girlfriend is bouncing around on a man with the NAST and the A.
Yes. I've just had a thought, Hammond.
I like this.
What is James's middle name?
It's Daniel.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, anyway, that's enough Daniel.
Bentley have announced that in the next James Bond book, 007 will be driving a Bentley Continental. There you go.
What, is that the next James Bond? Look at him. He looks like an account name's Bond. Licence to Kill.
What is the book called? On Her Majesty's Customs and Excise?
Moon Ledger.
Live and Let's File.
I should just point out that that man is the author of the book. Not
sorry.
Not the new Bond.
I don't know why he'd want a modern Bentley anyway, because I drove one in Albania recently. It was terrible.
I was killed in it.
You were, so it wasn't all bad, but it understeered a lot. Now, you know Infinity?
What, when James explains how something works?
No, yeah,
Infinity
no.
just stretches out in front of you forever.
No, not endless time and space. Infinity, the Japanese car maker.
Oh, yeah.
They're Datsuns with a bit of velvet in them, basically. A bit like Lexus's to Toyota. Well, at the Geneva Motor Show, which is soon, they've announced they're going to show off a new direction they're going in, okay? And this is the car they'll be showing. It's a concept. I just think it looks like an ordinary car that's melted. But what I'm worried about with this is they've called it the Urethra.
Are you sure?
Well, no, it's not actually spelt urethra, but it looks like it's pronounced urethra. Now, isn't the urethra the bit in your old chap?
No, I thought, isn't it the tube that connects your kidney to your bladder? That the wee goes along to get from your kidney to your bladder?
No, I think it's the
You just
bit.
keep saying yes to it. How come you're an expert on... You look like a scaffolder. Are you actually a wee-wee doctor? You are? What are you really? You're a car salesman. Anyway, so if you want a melted car named after a tube with urine in it, that's the car for you. Now, Ferrari, okay?
This year's F1 car, they said, is going to be called the F-150. Okay, that was the name of it. But then they got a call from Ford's lawyers saying, no, you can't do that because we own the name F-150 and that will cause confusion. So let's have a look at the Ferrari. This is the F-150, this year's F1 car. Now let's have a look at Ford's F-150.
I don't know, it's easy to see how the confusion could arise between the two if you look at them together.
Yeah.
And what would be worse than getting pole position, sitting on the grid, thinking, right, here we go, my big F1 race. Why is there a man in a cowboy hat sitting next to me? Oh, no, I'm in a pickup, sir.
Ferrari actually say, and I'm quoting now, it's difficult to understand Ford's viewpoint on this matter, and I'm sort of with them. But anyway, they have changed the name. The Ferrari Formula One car is now called the Ferrari F. Henry Ford is a massive peach.
Two things with the same name don't necessarily have to be confused. Like Hammond can mean a massive organ, or it can... Oh, yeah.
Anybody here play golf? You do. Okay, I've got some news about personalised number plates. I know you love that sort of thing in the world of golf. We've got the new 11 plates coming out very soon. You know, the numbers will be 11, and obviously that's wealth of possibilities for writing amusing words on your number plate. Bulldog, Holland, Gallets, and so on. Well, anyway, the DVLA, which is a big building in Wales, they're now selling these numbers for between £3,000 and £10,000.
To be fair, it's between £3,000 and £10,000 plus the fine you get for interfering with the letters and numbers on your number plate.
It is true. We're the only country in the world where the government says, no, you can buy this if you move the numbers around in the letters to make this word, you can buy it from us, and then they fine you for moving the letters and numbers around. It is a bit weird, that.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, some of the words have been banned for being offensive or sinister. Words like psycho and vulgar, but they have allowed ball bag. No, they haven't. They haven't allowed ball bag. They haven't allowed ball bag, but they have allowed melons. Isn't that sexist? Do you think that's sexist? It's sexist to me.
But it's also not fair, because what if you were, I don't know, the wholesaler of giant holdalls for transporting footballs in large volumes to school playing fields? You might want ball bag.
I think it's not likely to be bought by, well, they're not doing it, but it wouldn't be bought by a sporting wholesaler. In the same way that melons wouldn't be bought by a greengrocer.
No?
It would end up on Jordan's pink horse box, I guarantee.
What?
Horse box.
Oh.
What did you think I said?
That's what I thought you said.
Now, one of the things we've learned over the years on this show is if you want a small, fast saloon car, you have to buy a BMW M3. I mean, you can go off if you want and buy a fast Mercedes or a fast Audi, but that's like going out and buying a PlayStation war game that isn't Call of Duty. The M3 is the best, and that's an end of it.
Now, however, BMW claim they've made it even better. First of all, it's fitted with a device that cuts the engine when you stop at a set of lights, and then starts it again when you set off.
All on its own, this will solve global warming. So that's good.
It's available with a matte finish, which is as cool as buying some skinny jeans and then making an app about them.
There are some drawbacks to this, though. First of all, it costs £1,755, and I think that's a lot for a bit of paint. Plus, you can't take it to the car wash, you can't polish it, and you must remove tree sap, dead insects and bird droppings immediately or you'll ruin it. So really you're paying 1,700 quid for some inconvenience.
The biggest new feature, though, is what BMW call the competition pack.
This will cost you £3,300, and for that you get bigger wheels and tyres, a lowered ride height, and one or two software tweaks designed to keep you pointing in vaguely the right direction. Or, if the mood takes you completely the wrong direction. This is very good. I
I'd love to say at this point that the competition pack has transformed the M3 into a mesmerising blend of God and Uma Thurman. But it hasn't. Truth be told, most of the time makes absolutely no difference at all. In a straight line, it's no faster than the standard car. And around the bends, it feels exactly the same. Except, of course, when you eventually spin, it'll assume you've arrived at a set of lights and cut the engine.
Believe you've done that? Nobody arrives at a set of traffic lights backwards in a cloud of tyre smoke. Stupid thing.
However, with the competition pack, you do get one feature that you will notice.
If you push this little button here twice, you engage sport mode. Doesn't make any difference to the speed you go, but it does make the car very uncomfortable. I know, for example, this runway is very smooth, but now it feels like I'm driving over a teenager's face.
So there we are, the competition pack. You spend £58,000 and what you get in exchange is a normal £55,000 M3 with a little button that makes it worse. So what about this, the new Audi RS5? This is also £58,000, but it does come with many bells and a fleet of whistles. It has four-wheel drive, a new mechanical centre differential, and an electronic gizmo that splits the torque between the rear wheels. Sounds juicy, and that's before we get to the engine. A Lamborghini-derived 4.2-litre V8.
To the trouble of fitting the engine with a device that fires a droplet of petrol into the hot exhaust every time you change gear. So, ready? So they use the planet's resources to make changing gear sound nice. I like that.
But can it beat the BMW? Well, let's find out.
He has 414 brake horsepower, I have 30 more. So I'm expecting to just cruise by.
But the Audi is heavier, and despite the high-tech four-wheel drive, it's nowhere near as good in the corners.
Come on! Well, I'll get him on the next one. Oh dear. No matter, I'll get him under braking. I won't get him under braking. This is weird because in all fast Audis that I can remember, the engine has always been way out in front of the front axle, sticking out like Bruce Forsyth's sin. In this, they've moved the axle forwards. The idea being that that would kill the understeer that has always plagued Audis. Honestly, it really hasn't worked. Come on, turn!
The only hope you have of getting past is that eventually the BMW driver will have to pull over to wipe an insect off the bonnet. I thought the RS5 would be a modern-day version of the original Quattro, a hardcore fire-spitting monster, a machine born in the forests, rough, brutal, exciting. But it isn't. It's comfortable and relaxing and quiet, and I'm sorry, but if that's what you want, why spend £58,000 on a four-wheel drive V8 with an air brake? In short then, neither of these cars really works. And as a result, we're back where we started. If you want a small, fast saloon, buy a standard M3.
What's to applaud? Well, let's work this out, shall we? A couple of weeks ago, you reviewed 3 cars that no one can buy.
Yes, I did.
And you've just reviewed 2 cars that no one will want to buy.
Yes, I
Well,
have.
thank you.
No, but listen, I have another problem with the Audi apart from the ones we've already seen. You know Audi sponsor Manchester United, okay? So how many people here support Manchester United? Hands up. It's a few, so they think, yes, we like Audis. Now, how many people here hope that Manchester United, the entire team, catches gonorrhea and is unable to play ever again? And that's the problem with a car firm when it sponsors a football team, because it automatically means the vast majority of people, my son-in-law, hates Audis.
It's anyone who doesn't support that football.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to think if I bought an Audi that any of my money, even a tiny bit, is going to Wayne Rooney.
Well, or Sir Ferguson with his chewing gum. Anyway, it is now time to find out how fast these cars go round our track, and then, of course, means handing them over to our tame racing driver. Some say that in his wallet, he keeps a photograph of his wallet. And that in a recent race, even he was beaten by the King's speech. All we know is he's called the Stig. And they're off. The track is moist, and that should favour the four-wheel drive Audi. Let's see as they come up to the first corner. Audi's okay there. What about the BMW? No, it's getting a bit out of shape. Big squiggly there. I've no idea why he's listening to that. But there we are, the RS5's front end washing out. BMW still tail happy. Okay, the hammerhead. Will the Audi follow its nose like a truffle pig? Seems to be doing all right. Tyres squealing though with that precise Germanic pain. BMW drifting like a matte-painted lunatic. Brace of V8 powering into the follow-through. The Audi's got its dander up now through the tyres. Not much in it so far. 2 corners left. Here they come now under braking. The RS5 looking a bit squirrely there. Brakes, I must say, aren't that great on the track. They're both slithering through Gambon. And there we are across the line. So, the Audi RS5 hitting 127.5. So that's there, the moist symbol. And the competition pack, even though it doesn't have four-wheel drive and the track was a bit wet, 126.5. So that goes there, look, way fast.
Yeah, but hang on, where's...
Normal M3.
Normal M3 is there, so it's
Yeah.
not as fast as
As the normal M3 now. This is the best car, and always will be, and there's no point ever thinking otherwise. Now, it is time to put a star in our reasonably priced car. Now, my guest tonight appears in a new film alongside Nicolas Cage, one of those films where everything explodes and there's a car chase and it's all in 3D. But she did cause a bit of a row in the office. You see, the producers said, you can't have her on because nobody has ever heard of her. And I said, yes, that's true, but she is bisexual. And she likes guns and muscle cars. And I won. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amber Heard. If Carlsberg, they don't do guests for chat shows, but if they did, that's pretty close to perfect. Where do we begin?
I hear that's a good sign.
It is a good sign. I'm trying to think of anybody I'd rather be sitting talking to now. No, can't think of anybody. The films that you've been in previously haven't really allowed you to indulge this passion for guns and muscle cars, I guess, really. What was the Pineapple Express, Zombieland? And then there was, what was that one where you were naked pretty much throughout? What was that?
The Informers.
The Informers.
Yeah, that one.
I've watched that a lot.
Yeah. I think that's why people watch it at all, to be honest.
I'm watching it now.
Come back to me. Come back to me.
But the new movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
Drive Angry in 3D, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
This is just obviously written with you in mind.
This movie is so cool. It is just all. It is. It's loud guns, fast cars, and short shorts. On me, not Nicolas Cage.
So, muscle cars, where does this love come from?
Well, I'm from Texas, and I think that had something to do with it. It helps being from the South. You know, people are obsessed with their cars there.
So have you actually got one?
Yes, I drive a '68 Mustang in LA. That's my car.
You've just grown a third leg. Yes. 68 Mustang.
Oh, no.
That is no, and has it always been muscle cars, or did you go through a period of a rabbit or a whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I've had everything.
It's a golf, stupid idiot. No. Did you? Has it always been a love of old American big V8s?
No, I've had a 67 Mercedes, a 62 Checker, which was a cab. Yeah.
So the Mustang now, is that in Los Angeles?
Yes, that's my baby.
And what colour is it?
It was cherry red until the last time it got stolen. It gets stolen a lot.
Why does it get stolen so much? Because I would have thought that was fairly easy to find somebody driving a 68 Mustang.
Yeah, apparently burglars, or whatever you would call them, would you call them? Car
Burglars,
thieves.
robbers, bastards is another one.
I like how you say it, bastards. Well, anyway, yeah, apparently it's just easy to find for all sorts of people.
Now, most people that come here and talk about cars, who live in California, have gone out and bought a Toyota.
Prius.
Yeah, exactly, a Prius. Now, why haven't you gone down that route?
I don't blame people for buying Priuses. I think that's great, smart, whatever. You have a Prius?
No, I do not have a Prius. I loathe them with an unbridled passion. Because what I always say, when people say, I've got a Prius, you know, because I really care, I live in a yurt and I don't care about the environment. Oh, my shirt's made from leaves.
My shirt is made from leaves.
Is it?
No.
No, it's just the Prius is, I mean, the nickel for the batteries in that thing is mined in Canada. And then it's put on a ship and it's taken to Norway and it's made into the batteries and then it goes to Japan. The damn thing's done 2.5 million miles before you ever buy it in California. So I just ran into them in your Mustang.
Well, I've done that actually in a Checker, so.
What, you hit a Prius?
No, I ran into a couple of them. Not just one.
I'd have just got out and laughed if I'd hit a Prius.
Yeah, I need that.
We've done cars now, and we move on to guns.
Yes.
You're obviously from Texas. It's part of the culture there, I guess.
Yeah.
So you grew up with them.
I grew up around guns. I grew up around gun owners and gun users. My dad, at any given point, has several on them. It's just the culture. And I have a gun myself.
What sort?
A 357 Magnum.
I've gone again. Have you ever fired a machine gun?
I have. Actually.
I like a squad automatic weapon. I set fire to Arizona once with one of those. Because it was full of tracer and you're just firing away. This is brilliant. And then, oh God, the desert's on fire because all the tracer rounds. Great fun.
Sounds like you know how to party.
And on that bombshell, it's time to go. Thanks very much for watching. Good night. Now, obviously, you're from Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. Austin, I believe.
Yeah.
I went there once and I went to a bar called the Broken Spoke. Have you been there?
I used to square dance and
You did do line dance?
Oh, yeah.
I
am from Texas, after all.
But there was the guy that ran it, I can remember as you walked in, he said, we don't have none of that fancy Perrier water or hanging ferns.
I think that was my dad.
So, when you went back to Texas, which is a deeply conservative neck of the woods,
Bible Belt,
and said, this is my girlfriend, how did it go down?
Well, I think that, you know, I've always been, I used to go to Catholic school, and I got in a lot of trouble for the books I read, books like, you know, written by George Orwell or Simon Rushdie.
You read a George Orwell book in Texas?
Yeah, I've kind of always found myself going against the grain and I've had to confront, you know, preconceived notions for what a girl like me should be like my whole life, and I've just always been myself and done my own thing.
I'm surprised you weren't put in an electric chair for reading George Orwell, frankly, because he's a communist.
Well, I carry a gun, so.
Anyway, you came down here to do your lap wearing those shoes.
These are my driving shoes.
Did you actually do a lap of our track in those?
They wouldn't let me.
What?
They made me wear a helmet, too. Can you believe that?
Made you what?
Wear a helmet. With this hair.
It's fluffed up nicely. I don't think
Thank
you
you.
worry about that.
I have fluffers. over
Because
here.
the Stig, okay, he was very, please don't take this the wrong way, he's a very unusual person. He was very disappointed when you arrived, because he was expecting Thora Heard, not Amber Heard.
I don't know who.
He has a complete crush on her. He loves her. How did you manage to get on with our Kia C''D?
It did okay on the track. I don't know if it would be my everyday car, but it did okay on the track.
Well, should we find out?
Yeah.
Who would like to see Amber's lap, yeah? Yeah! Let's have a look, here we go. Well, there's no wheel spin.
I was trying.
Come on.
What are you wearing on your hands?
Gloves.
What, driving gloves? Wow. That's how we look in there through there. Not all the road, but not bad.
This is
Look at those gloves! Are you actually a murderer?
Yes.
Yeah, part-time. They do look like strangler's gloves to me.
This feels very illegal. Like it should be illegal.
No. You can drive as fast as you like in Britain. You're okay. The yellow boxes, they record it for you. Send you a note of praise. That's not bad. Bit of understeer, but that's not your fault. And then...
It doesn't quite have the same intensity when you watch it.
No, you're right. No, that's weirdly strong. Your eyes. Keep your eyes open. It's
Yeah,
very
right.
important. You know where you're going in that corner. That looks pretty quick, actually, through there. And to look through here, cut it. Yeah, that's quite uncomfortable when you do that. Right, coming up, second to last corner. This is where most people get it wrong. You're on the wrong side of the road. Right, there we are. And into Gambon, where Tom Cruise damn nearly rolled it over. And there we are, across the line. Where do you reckon you've come?
I have no idea.
Well, Tom Cruise is 144.2.
Let's show off.
It was a bit showy off, and Cameron Diaz, who you probably never know, is 145.2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anyway, you did it in 1 minute. 50.3. Which means that's the slowest dry lap we've ever had. No. It's a record of sorts. Anyway, the most important thing is that we now know that you're a beautiful, well-read, intelligent, well-travelled, bisexual, gun and muscle car enthusiast. Ladies and gentlemen, you really have struck lucky this week. Amber Heard.
Right. Now, this evening we are solving Britain's financial crisis by turning a combine harvester into a snowplow. Earlier on in Norway, we used it to make a runway on a frozen lake. And if we're honest, things didn't go entirely to plan.
No, the aeroplane that we landed sort of crashed a bit, really, but never mind that. We pick up the action later that same evening, heading for a nearby town where Jeremy was very keen to try out a de-icing attachment he'd fitted.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. Yes!
Crikey.
As we entered the town, we all went to action stations.
And turning the Bovril on.
Give it more revs.
Yeah, we got grit! Hammond, you got good grit!
Unfortunately, the communications were a bit ropey.
Stop! Stop and hit the building!
Fans are on. Going forwards.
Oh, God, stop! No, stop! No, drive, no, don't stop, drive, James, drive. Just drive away.
Annoyingly, it was a dead end, so James had to do a three-point turn, which he's not that good at in a normal car.
Stop!
But if I'm honest, Jeremy and I weren't much help.
Now! Hard turn left, I think. Hard left. Up to the right. Not now, to the top of the slope, not now.
Oh, maybe straighten up a bit now.
Straighten up now.
I've also had a wee.
Can you give me sort of clear instructions rather than a load of hysteria? I've no idea what's going on here.
After much palaver, we finally broke free.
We damaged it quite badly at the back.
And that house.
Yeah, but it's okay because we have gritted at least 30 feet of road.
Yeah.
On the high street, we had yet more success.
I'm in a Ford Sierra Cosworth seat with a flamethrower. Not possible to be happier than that. Here we go, burning the bank.
We're gritting, we're flame throwing, we've done a bit of ploughing. It's all marvellous.
It's like we're international rescue. We are Thunderbirds, cruising Norway, looking for people who need our services.
I have to do the three-point turn now, chaps. We're at the end.
I'll provide the rear lighting. It's like a reversing light, this.
Yeah, kind of.
It is. Look.
When Jeremy fires his flamethrower, I can see a little bit in that mirror.
Just keep going backwards, Jeremy. Keep going backwards, keep going backwards, keep going backwards.
Oh, no! No! Look what I've done!
What have you done? Run! Go!
Again, there was only one thing to do.
Are we running away? I've no idea what's happening.
After much driving around and doing things, we were home and the tank was empty.
Dive in here for fuel and a bag of crisps, mate, and then we'll carry on.
Whoa! Does he realise how much the back swings out?
I'm going to clear this thing of snow for them. That'll make them happy. Watch this. Cock! I was trying to clear that thing of snow. It's got a car in it. I was going to be helpful and clear that, and it just there was a car.
A car?
No, that was covered in snow. I thought it was a pile of snow.
It's not covered in snow.
No, it's not now, you moron. It was. I said.
Did you ram the car?
You rammed into a car.
I didn't. I was trying to be helpful.
There was only one thing to do.
Right. Go, run away, run!
So far then, we'd crashed a plane, ruined a car, burned a sign and smashed a house. And then things got worse. Oh, hang on. I'm jammed. My flamethrower's jammed. The flamethrower is jammed.
What are you doing?
Oh, God, the fire!
I can see a yellow mist in the mirrors.
Oh, God!
There's a man on fire! Jeremy set fire to a skier and run away.
We're running away.
I think if we do get reported to the police, it's not going to take them very long to find us. Still, as we weren't actually being stoned by an angry mob, we went to bed that night feeling quite cheerful. However, the next morning, there was bad news.
What does it actually say? Is it upbeat?
Top Gear. I don't think it's going to be upbeat, is it? Harned Seg and Himlagdets. An incredibly small man knocked my house morning.
Morning. We're in the paper.
No.
Provided with cleared snow and...
A man who looked like a dog crashed into one of my trees. I don't think it's a good idea to stay here anymore.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Since this is a sort of prototype and we're testing it, why don't we go and test it on, I don't know, a country road where there's just snow? No people or cars or buildings or trees or benches. Let's just try and clear some snow.
This was a good idea. So we fired up the Dominator and headed for a road so remote even the Norse had abandoned it to the weather. A mountain pass called the Road of Terror, probably. If we can open this this road, the only one, the Norwegian.
With this?
Yeah.
We've proven we can. We've proven the worth of this machine internationally.
And I think we'll be forgiven for the small things we've done wrong.
The man on fire, houses, car, sign.
Eventually, we arrived at the gates to a frozen hell.
One of the problems we found yesterday, one of them, was that you tend to get snow sticking to the plough and building up, and it doesn't work as well. So, an idea that I had is to cover the plough itself with a mixture of oil and diesel.
He's claiming it's his idea. I happen to know he was talking to a snowplow driver in the bar last night.
Nothing's going to stick to that.
With the preparations done, we set off.
Come on, Dominator! Our destination was a desolate hamlet 10 kilometres away.
Oh, look at that. Boldly ploughing where no Norwegian has ploughed so far this winter. This is a 1980s machine, so that is a cassette player.
Do you think Jones is getting lonely up there?
He'll love it.
About £10 million says he's fantasising about being a lone skipper of some rain-weather-battered trawler out on the North Sea.
Oh, no, you don't mean, yeah, lone skipper, but with just one quite attractive man in the galley.
With the oiled plough scything nicely through the snow, Jeremy and I swung into action.
Let's grit.
Oh, yeah! The gritting is going well, Hammond.
Oh, tank slap!
I've lost my wedding ring!
What?
I've lost my wedding ring!
Has it gone in the thing?
It must have done.
That's a tricky one to explain. Soon, though, we had bigger things to worry about than Hammond's ring. Oh, hang on. Whoa.
What was that?
It only went through the windscreen.
But a snowy hillock was no match for the Dominator.
Right, take this, Snow. Charge!
Race, race, race.
Yes!
We're through.
Yes!
However, while the battering ram was okay in this lonely place... No, don't do it. The rear wheel steering was a nightmare. No. Sorry, tank slapper.
Whoa, on toe.
No, don't, it's got a mind of its own. And on the hills, we had a serious power shortage.
James, is that full speed?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, that's enough. Go back to digging holes. Don't do that.
Stuck.
If you think about it, the combine harvester is designed to never work in the snow, or the rain, or on a hill. It's always flat ground on lovely summer's evenings. It's out of its comfort zone here. Which meant that, sadly, so was I. Jesus.
He'll want the Victoria Cross now for using a shovel.
Yeah, they will.
Shall I just raise the plough and take his head off?
Yes. Ah, for God's sake!
Each kilometre was now a grueling challenge. Oh, go! Stop! And my ingenious snow measuring tactic didn't go brilliantly.
Wow! That's a lot harder.
But the Top Gear snowbine kept on moving.
Go, full power! Look at us carving a path. Look, that's us.
I know. This road is open. and will remain so until it snows again.
Tonight, probably. Or tomorrow.
Warning, the Top Gear turbine harvester is approaching. Warning, the Top Gear turbine harvester is approaching.
It's really annoying this. For the first time in my life I've got one of those tannoy things and there's absolutely nobody to talk to.
James, there's 1 kilometre to go. 1 kilometre. This road is open.
Who fancies a celebratory Bovril when we get there?
Unless Bovril's a code word for something dirty, I don't want to do that.
Hang on, I'm getting a bit of a tang slapper.
It's wandering off. Oh, no.
Getting a tang slapper, flat out.
This time, we'd come off the road and into a massive snowdrift.
Jesus wept.
It's a lot of snow.
The snow out here that we're in is incredibly deep.
Yes, that's what I feared. It felt quite deep as it went off the edge.
You see, the extent of the problem is quite big. The whole machine is...
So, one wheel was stuck and one was spinning uselessly.
Full power! Not going to do it.
Spurred on by the previous day's failures, we dug furiously.
Just for once, I want to do something properly. No, I want to clear this road and do it. No cocking about. This is coming out of here.
So rocket back, now forwards.
Oh, it feels abusive. I'm wearing the clutch out. Hang on, it's starting to smell.
Don't stop, James, don't stop, don't stop.
With darkness falling and the temperature dropping, this was no time for mechanical sympathy.
Come on, James, come on, we can do this.
A bit less left. Oh, really?
Ah, go, yes, you so well. Yes, come on, come on, come on! It's out! Yes! 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 Yes!
That's it. Climb aboard.
The Dominator surged forwards. And soon our destination hoved into view.
We are so nearly there. Look at that.
That is a blaze of glory.
A blaze of glory, grit, and Bovril.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Top Gear turbine harvester has arrived.
And so there we are. For once in our wretched lives on this programme, we'd actually done what we set out to do.
You know what?
What?
We've been ambitious and brilliant, and it's all thanks to the Dominator.
Successful.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure ploughing with you.
It's been a joy and an honour.
Oh, it was the right road, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some conclusions we can draw from our outstanding success there. Britain has 3,700 snowplows and gritters and spends £160 million a year clearing snow.
And obviously, that isn't enough because every time there's a light flurry, everything shuts down and closes.
And that's why our idea makes so much sense, because there are 15,000 combine harvesters in Britain. And all it takes to convert them into snowplows is a spanner and a couple of burly men.
Well, the gritter bit was a bit more complicated.
And the flamethrower.
Yeah, I'm not sure you need that.
No, you do. You do, it's brilliant. It's good versing
You
light.
set fire to them.
No, I didn't. he spontaneously combusted as we were driving by. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Never.
It did.
Anyway, look, the important thing is, our Dominator was an old machine, but if we'd used one of the more modern ones with a lot more power, and especially if it had four-wheel drive, it would be, I think, brilliant.
It would. So there we are. We have succeeded where the Bank of England has failed. We have solved the country's financial crisis. And I think now...
I suspect so, yes.
Yes. So on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you very much for watching. Good night. A spaniel in a moon buggy. A fat man in a Kia.
Whoa, here she goes.
And a race against the Lord God Almighty. Come on! Richard Hammond says that back in the 1980s, when he was a small boy, there were only two cars that caused him to run about his house in Birmingham, clutching feverishly at his as-yet unformed tinkle. So you can imagine how excited he was when the producer said to him this week he could drive both of them.
To get these two together for as long as I can remember, and finally got hold of them. And, well, it's a short winter's day, and I don't want any traffic jams holding me up or any of that nonsense, which is why I've kept the night at the track. And I believe they're here.
In 1986, Porsche launched the greatest supercar the world had ever seen, the 959. And then, a year later, Ferrari responded with the greatest supercar the world had ever seen, the F40.
Oh, my word. Would you just...